Hey guys, welcome back to Anime Inc. and I hope you're having a fantastic day. In today's video, we'll discuss the top 10 anime MCs that got scarred for life. As fans and lovers of anime, we sometimes agree that some anime story plots are terrifying and chaotic. These anime are full of scenes that eventually scar the show's main character, which causes the MC's behavior to change drastically. In today's video, we'll be looking at these MC characters that got scarred for life. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on post notifications to avoid missing any anime content. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 10. Edward Elrick of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I don't think there's a better way of beginning today's video than with the story of Edward Elrick of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. For most of you otakus out there, you already know the story of Edward and Alphonse Elrick. When Edward and Alphonse were kids, they lost their mother to an unforeseen illness. For those of you who haven't seen the anime. Weighed down by grief and loneliness, the two boys try everything in their power to bring back their beloved mother. At the time, the two would not accept that what they were trying to do was impossible, and in the process of trying to bring back their mother, they created an undead monster at a high price. What is the price, you ask? He loses both of his limbs for Edward while Alphonse's body is destroyed. Traumatized by the incident, the two boys make it their life's mission to protect others from suffering. Number 9. Shoto Todoroki of My Hero Academia. Of all the new anime that have been recently created, we all have to agree that Boku no Hero Academia stands out amongst others. Even though the anime is meant to show determination and hard work, Shoto Todoroki, one of the rising heroes in the anime series, experiences trauma that changes his life forever. Shoto's backstory and trauma track back to his father, a hero known as Endeavor. In an attempt to make his bloodline stronger, Endeavor combines his fire quirk with his wife's ice quirk to create their son, Shoto Todoroki, stronger. As Shoto grows up, Endeavor fears that he might not grow up to his expectations and begins to beat him, claiming that abuse will make him stronger. Endeavor also abuses his wife, who ends up pouring hot water on Shoto's eyes, scarring him for life, literally. Shoto is now an aspiring hero, and because of the abuse he suffered at the hands of his father, he vows never to use his fire quirk but instead rely on his mother's ice quirk. Number 8. Now Tomorry and Charlotte. Imagine losing your beloved brother to an uncontrollable fate of being experimented on. That is precisely what Now Tomorry and the anime Charlotte went through. Kazuki is Nao's brother, and very much like others in the anime, Kazuki is born with a unique ability that allows him to cause vibration in the air around him, pretty special. The government officials also thought so and started subjecting him to various experiments. Kazuki was one of their prime targets, and he underwent a lot of dangerous experiments and tests. After all was said and done, Kazuki was a shadow of his former self. He could hardly stand, eat, or sleep. He had occasional psychological breakdowns that often turned violent to make matters worse. Because of what his brother went through and the emotional trauma she suffered, Now made it her life's mission to protect others with powers from ending up with the same fate. Number 7. Hayato Shinke of Yoamushi Pedal. As humans, we all have to agree that trauma can occur in any form. Even the most minor and most irrelevant things can trigger trauma in an individual. In the anime Yoamushi Pedal, Hayato Shinke suffers a traumatic experience that many others would wave aside. On one particular day, Hayato is involved in a very heated race that sees him so focused on winning that he forgets his environment. In the racing process, Hayato unknowingly runs over a rabbit, causing its baby to become an orphan. Hayato had no intention of killing the rabbit, but he feels guilty and blames himself for it. He immediately adopts the baby rabbit and makes him safe. Even with all the atonement he has tried to do, Hayato can't get over the ordeal. He cannot cut past bikers. Instead, he becomes frightened and gets flashbacks of the experience. Number 6. Obito in Naruto. For most parts of one of the best anime of all time, Naruto, it tells the story of a little boy trying to achieve his dreams. However, other parts of the anime show depression, anger, and trauma, as is the case of Obito Uchiha. Once considered a noble ninja, Obito becomes one of the most misunderstood villains in the anime. Obito starts as a promising little boy, but after a terrible accident, Obito's life takes a turn for the worse. The accident almost leaves half of his body crushed by rocks, but fortunately for him, he was saved by the worst villain in the anime, Madara. Madara surprisingly helps Obito by replacing the damaged parts of his body with humanoid plant matter. While Madara helps him recover, he tries to convince Obito that the world is irredeemable, and he succeeds. The trauma of Obito almost dying and that none of his friends came to rescue him changed his way of thinking and led him onto a criminal path. Number 5. Himaru Kinchen of Rurouni Kenshin. No one remains the same forever, and for most, they end up becoming a shadow of their past self because of their past trauma. This was precisely the case for Himaru Kinchen of Rurouni Kenshin. Once recognized as a legendary assassin, Himaru Kinchen, formerly known as Himaru Batosai, leaves his violent days behind him and decides not to kill anyone again. Kinchen is scarred from when he was an assassin and is traumatized by all the deaths at his hand. Becoming a changed man, Himaru Kinchen vows to never take another life till the day he dies. The once great and feared assassin now has very low self-esteem for himself, and on top of it all, he believes that anyone that might have been wronged during his life as an assassin can come back to take revenge. Himaru thinks he should pay for his sins and confines himself to a life of unhappiness. Number 4. Natsuko in Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba. Being one of the fan favorites of the anime, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Nezuko is only one of the most traumatized characters in the anime series. If you're one of many fans who jumped on the fan wagon and watched the first season of Demon Slayer, you will remember that the anime starts on a somewhat tragic note. In the starting scene of the anime, we see Tanjiro happily coming back from the village. Little does he know that his happiness is about to become sour. Tanjiro finds out that a demon has murdered his entire family, with the only survivor being Nezuko, his little sister. Even this is the traumatic scene for Tanjiro himself. It can't be compared to what Nezuko went through. She was made to watch her entire family die, then was turned into a flesh-eating demon. With all these, Nezuko is not broken by the trauma, staying strong, not giving in to the flesh-eating demon urge. Number 3. Guts in Berserk. If anyone asked me to name an anime character with the worst childhood, I would, without a second thought, name Guts in Berserk. Guts had one of the most horrible childhoods in anime history. As a newborn, Guts was found dangling from his mother's body, which alone would make anybody break down. If you think that was the worst to happen to Guts, wait till you hear what happens to him next. He was adopted by a mercenary named Gambino, who regularly beat him and then eventually advertised his services as a sex worker. After that, Guts suffers from a terrible supernatural condition, severely injured by dangerous supernatural forces. These occurrences change Guts, and he is out for revenge in the anime Berserk. Number 2. Eren Yeager of Attack on Titan. Eren Yeager is one of the most traumatized characters in anime history, if not the most traumatized. Just about everyone in the anime is traumatized. Imagine being confined in a small town to prevent you from being eaten by giant titans. Anyone would ultimately lose their mind. Many villagers are tired of their lives and want to fight for freedom, especially Eren. This urge to fight is further increased when the town is attacked by the Titans, which destroys him, and his mother gets eaten right before his eyes. Eren and his friends find a way to escape, join the Survey Corps, and plan to destroy the Titans. Eren still has nightmares about the day his mother got eaten. This further fuels his anger for the Titans, and he plans to one day exact his revenge. Number 1. Kin Kaneki of Tokyo Ghoul. There is no way our list today will be complete without telling the story of Kin Kaneki of Tokyo Ghoul. Kin's life from a young age was filled with trials and trauma, but he still manages to keep his head up and is not deterred. Kin is first attacked by a man-eating ghoul whose organs fuse to create a human-ghoul hybrid that needs to consume human flesh to survive. Even though that sounds scary, Kaneki finds a way to get past it. His breaking point was when he was tortured by another ghoul named Yakumo Umori. Umori uses many different torture techniques and even resorts to cutting off Kaneki's fingers and forcing them to regenerate. This experience leaves Kaneki scarred and turns a once sweet boy into someone capable of hurting others for his selfish interests. With that, we have come to the end of today's video. Which one of these characters do you think suffered the most? Let us know in the comment section below. Until next time, stay safe guys, see you in the next one.